It's somewhat related. You're talking about interacting with foreign countries. You talked about the competition with China. This is a wide open question from someone in the audience. Foreign policy, what are your thoughts? What would your priorities be?
We have made some strides in our foreign policy. We have successfully begun to regain our credibility in the world as a country that stands on its principles and values and not simply our bombs and our bullets. We are on our way out of Iraq in terms of our combat role here. We face a challenging situation in Afghanistan and Pakistan. It is absolutely crucial that we keep the pressure on a shadowy network of global terrorists around the globe who want to do us real harm. That is an important part of our national security imperative. In Afghanistan and Pakistan, we've got a government in Pakistan that has 70 nuclear weapons and faces challenges from Al-Qaeda and Taliban. In Afghanistan, we have a government that I have doubts about whether they have the competence and the credibility to stand up and do what they need to do to take over. So we've got to hold that government and our government accountable for making sure we're pursuing the right strategy in Afghanistan to pursue terrorists and make sure we're keeping our country safe. There are additional challenges around the Middle East. The Palestinian-Israeli issue is one which we are now taking a constructive role in. We face a serious threat from Iran. Make no mistake about Iran's intentions. They are not good, and we have to stand strong, strengthening our sanctions, making sure they're implemented, and standing foursquare with Israel in the defense of peace and security in that region, lest we face a nuclear arms race in the region, which will further destabilize the world. And it's critical that we continue to make efforts to stop nuclear proliferation. I support the new treaties that will stop nuclear proliferation. Those are some of the critical issues we face.
Thank you. Ms. Ayat, take 2 minutes, please.
I'm part of a military family. My husband's a lieutenant colonel in the Guard and served in the Iraq War flying missions in the A-10 Warthog. And I can tell you this. Our national leaders need to stop apologizing for the United States of America. We live in the greatest country in the world. So many of our men and women have sacrificed so much for this country and continue to sacrifice so much for this country to keep us safe. When it comes to terrorism, we need to stand strong because the bullies around the world don't understand anything but strength. And we need to stand with our long-term allies, including Israel and others around the world who stand for democracy and stand for our values. And when it comes to terrorists, we shouldn't treat terrorists like they're common criminals. We shouldn't be trying the terrorists that committed the 9/11 act in New York City. They should be tried in military tribunals so that we can protect Americans. We need to make sure that our intelligence agencies are working together so that we can prevent what happened on Christmas Day by good information and using common sense to prevent future terrorist attacks. And when it comes to our foreign policy, we need to make sure, again, that the United States of America is protected, that we are supporting democracy, and we have some very great threats right now. Our troops, we have the largest deployment of our Guardsmen and women since World War II here in the state of New Hampshire, serving overseas and helping us, obviously, Iraq and Afghanistan, but also making sure that they have the support that they need, and that as a member of the Senate, that we're asking the hard questions on those missions to make sure that our soldiers have what they need, that we are rooting out terrorism, not only in Afghanistan and Pakistan so that Americans are protected, but when it comes to Iran, we need to do whatever we can to make sure that Ahmadinejad does not get a nuclear weapon, because that will be a threat not only to the Middle East, not only to Israel, but to the United States of America to have someone like that possess a nuclear weapon. And that's going to take real leadership, it's going to take tough economic sanctions, and it's going to make sure that we stand strong as the United States of America.
I have time for one more question from all of you, and I will give it to Ms. Ayat when she has a chance to drink her water.